Let's get into Brush Street Beat, presented by our friends at McLaren Health Care. Today's guest is former Tiger and current member of the Fox Sports Detroit broadcast team, Craig Monroe, a returning Word on Woodward guest. Craig, we're really excited to have you. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Well, I'm excited to be here, Daniella and Art. This is fun. You guys, you keep make things light and you make me very comfortable. So I couldn't wait. Looking forward to it.
We are too. And before we get to talking some Tigers baseball, Craig, I want to ask you about this weekend, which is the Tigers' annual celebration of the Negro League. Obviously, the celebration will look a little different this year, but it's still an amazing weekend. And you were the 2019 Willie Horton Legacy Award winner, which honors African Americans who have strengthened the legacy of baseball in the African American community and have contributed to the history of the Detroit Tigers. An amazing award. What did winning that award last year mean to you?
Well, it meant everything. Willie Horton adopted me when I became a Tiger in 2002. I remember him coming up to my locker in spring training in Lakeland, Florida, putting his arm around me and just taking me and just talked to me about what it means to wear the Old English D and how excited he was for me to be here and get the opportunity to actually get some playing time. And from that day on, he's been pops to me. And he's kind of, like I said, take me on that wing, and he's mentored me in the sense that he saw a lot of similarities in himself. The different sound off my bat he talks about. My build at the time, a little different now, but at that time, the build was there. And he just knew that I was starving for an opportunity to allow my talent to show. And when I got to Detroit, I got a chance to do that. And I had an amazing time doing that. And it was a lot. And he helped me a lot. He helped me out a lot with mechanical adjustments in the batter's box, getting around the city and knowing things about the city. And I couldn't be more grateful to have won that award.
First of all, Craig, I have to say that your opening day outfit, Christmas in July, the red and green plaid sports coat, I was envious. I want one for my holiday parties. Excellent look. You never disappoint. Outstanding. As we know, you are Mr. Fashion, especially on that Fox Sports Detroit broadcast. Yeah, I can't wait till Peaches breaks out his sport coat, whatever in the heck.
Well, he's got one. He
like.
told me he's got one, Art. He told me he has one, so I told him I can't wait to see it.
I'm right there with you. I can't wait to see it either. With that said, though, and I know we just touched upon winning the Willie Horton Legacy Award. How cool is it, though, when you win an award named after someone you actually know? I mean, who's a real person, that you can relate to.
I just remember, just walking into the ballpark and going out to left field and seeing Willie Horton's statue out there. It speaks volume. The emotion that I feel inside about winning the award and knowing him on a personal level, it is so overwhelming. It's just an overjoyed. It's like you're overjoyed with emotion because of how much he means not only to the Tigers but to the city of Detroit. He's an ambassador, and he's an ambassador not just for blacks, but he's an ambassador for whites as well. His locker was a couple lockers down from mine in the clubhouse, and every day him and Al Kaline would be in the locker room, open and ready to share their experience, their knowledge of the game. And that was one of the things that I loved about being a Tiger, is that I could walk into my clubhouse and I had a guy like Alan Trammell, Mr. Tiger. I had a Willie Horton who have done extraordinary things for the city. So, no, I couldn't be more proud to know him and to be able to call him my pops.
Craig, another thing that always takes place during this weekend celebration for the Tigers is the passing of the bat, which really represents the past, the future, and the present of African Americans, not only as a member of the Tigers, but as the entire Major League Baseball. What does it really mean to you to be a part of that? A lot of people look up to you as you look up to a lot of the people that were also involved in it.
Well, that's a special day. There's no question about that. It's a special day to be able to be a part of the ceremony, to be down on the field. And we're going to miss that this year. With this pandemic happening, we're not going to get a chance to do it. But it's one of those special moments where you see the guys, the African American players, and we're passing the baton. It's almost like you're passing the torch. And there's so many greats that have played this game as African American before me, and you carry that not, I don't want to call it a burden, but you carry that pride, and there's nothing like sharing that pride and then passing it along and hoping that the recipient takes on that same kind of pride, and that's what we feel when we're down on that field and we're passing that bat around.
I look at the city of Detroit with its legacy of professional sports, very traditional city, especially when it comes to uniforms. But I would imagine, I'm kind of a uniform freak, and I know you're Mr. Fashion. That Detroit Stars uniform has to be one of the best. I mean, that thing
It really is.
it rocks.
It does, and I look forward to that day every year. I remember sitting back. I could tell you guys about when Dimitri Young was there, and Nick Logan, and myself, and Rondell White, and we had the opportunity to wear the Stars uniform, and we would try to cock the hat a little bit, to the side a little bit, the same way that the old Negro players would wear their hats, and I mimicked the way they wore their uniforms. I pull my socks up, my pants up, the high socks, because I always wore my pants down. So when we played and had that day, to wear those uniforms, I would always try to, in my mind, okay, I got a vision. I know what they look like. I've seen the pictures. So I want to look the part, I wanted to look the part. And I always took pride in wearing the Old Negro League uniform.
We look forward to everything that's going to take place this weekend, Craig. It's always a great weekend. But we do want to talk to you about some Tigers baseball. The Tigers extended their win streak last night against the White Sox. They're on a 4-game win streak now. Tonight, we're going to see Tyler Alexander on the mound, starting on the mound. We saw what he could do out of the bullpen. But what do you think we're going to see out of him in his first start?
Tyler is the moment never gets too big for him. So he's going to stick to the plan, and he sticks to his approach. He throws every pitch with conviction. In his last outing, when he did punch out 9, I like the way he changed eye levels. He was up in the strike zone with fastballs, and then he worked the bottom of the strike zone with a real nice slider, breaking ball, and that changeup as well. So I look for him to continue that. This young man here, he wants it. He wants it, but he doesn't allow himself to be overwhelmed, and he doesn't go out there trying to do too much. He knows that he's not overpowering, so he pitches to contact. He moves the ball around the strike zone, up, down, in, and out. And that's tough for a hitter to get adjusted, because as hitters, we try to split the plate in half. Well, Tyler Alexander doesn't allow you to do that because he uses both sides of the plate.
Craig, the Tigers had to unfortunately make a move today with C.J. Cron going down with the sprained left knee on the 10-day injured list, as they call it now. But I know that in sports, it's next man up. I mean, Willie Castro called up from Toledo. Tigers are going right now. What kind of impact losing a guy like Cron's going to be, or do you think the Tigers are going to be able? Candyman's starting to hit a little bit now, so Nico's bat's coming around. So it's a loss, but maybe not as great a loss as it would have been in the past, because there seems to be some depth on this team this year.
Art, you hit on it. If Candelario and also Nico Goodrum can continue to swing the bat and continue to develop into the players that we all believe they can be for this team, then CJ Cron, even though he will be missed, it will lessen that blow because he's been very productive. He's done an outstanding job protecting Miguel Cabrera in that 4-hole, and so you're going to miss him. But as you alluded to, there is next man up mentality, and these guys are pulling for each other. The taxi squad, the guys that have been down in Toledo working their tails off, waiting and chomping at the bits to get this opportunity. Willie Castro comes up, and he's going to get the opportunity to show what he's very capable of doing. But we also have to talk about Dawel Lugo. Dawel Lugo last year, when he got an opportunity to play third base, I thought defensively he was outstanding. Offensively, he took some great steps, tremendous strides in the right direction, being able to drive that ball the opposite way. And he also was flashing some power. So I really like the depth that this team has from an offensive standpoint. And so, no, I believe that the Tigers will continue to keep rolling because they have this chemistry inside the clubhouse, they're pulling the same way, they're tugging the same way, they're pulling for each other, and they've been really fun to watch.
Craig, I want to ask you a question about Jacoby Jones last night, hitting the inside the park home run, which is something that hasn't been done in a few years for the Tigers. What I really want to know as a player, okay, so he hits it. He obviously knows he's watching it going to first. You saw him kind of take off. Did he see that ball slip by the defender, or was he looking for signals? How does that work? Because he really just took off.
As soon as you see hit the ball, you're paying attention. You're watching it as you're running to first base, and you can tell, okay, well, he's getting close to it. I mean, it looks like he's going to have to dive. All these things are going through your mind as you're running the bases. So once he hit first base and he realized that the center fielder dove and tried to catch it, and he wasn't going to be able to make the play, you just knew right then that now it's about getting on your horse and just keep rolling. And Jacoby has, he has, tremendous amount of talent. The big thing is hoping that he can stay healthy. And we're getting a chance to see how good this kid can really be. We've talked at length about how good he is on the defensive side. But, man, his approach now in the batter's box, that approach, that swing that you're talking about, the inside the park home run, the direction of that ball. He's left center, right center. He's going to do a lot more damage if he can stay healthy.
When you look at pitching right now, obviously Matt Boyd's still trying to figure it out a little bit. I think we're all confident he'll come back. But last night against the White Sox, have to be Fulmer, Norris pitched pretty well. It looks like that might be a nice combination at the number 4 spot. And then Spencer Turnbull, what can you say? We've heard for years he has electric stuff. Now he's calmed down enough where maybe he emerges out of nowhere as the ace of this staff.
I believe he has the stuff to do that. Or there's no question he has the stuff to do that. And now seeing him this year, a new and improved mentality, he has the mental capacity now to be that guy. The way he can crisscross the strike zone, run the ball in on the right away from lefties, and then also be able to cut that ball in on left-handers away from the right-handers. So it's exciting to see the maturity level that I see from Spencer Turnbull. I call it that he's got his swagger back. He's got this confidence, this aura about him when he takes the mound, and I think that's what's important for him. He knows he has stuff. At this level, they have stuff. But how do you command that stuff? How do you control the strike zone? How do you pitch with confidence? And that's what I'm seeing from Spencer Turnbull now. He's on a whole nother planet right now. And I think it all starts between the ears.
Craig, the Tigers have some swagger heading into tonight's game, like I said, on a 4-game win streak. So we're looking forward to them taking the field against the White Sox tonight. Guys, first pitch is 7:10. Make sure that you're tuning in to Fox Sports Detroit. And Craig, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Also, a big thank you to McLaren Health Care for presenting Brush Street Beat right here on the Word on Woodward.